Run it up, run it up, run it up.
My name is Eunice and I'm the owner of Tongue Tied. So my family and I immigrated to the US, specifically Omaha, about 16 years ago. I was born in Niger, Africa, which is West Africa, but my ethnic group is from Benin. So I speak French, I speak a little bit of Goum, and English, of course, so yeah. Yeah, so I speak multiple languages. I love food. So my biggest hobby is food. I cook and I eat food, and you have to know how to cook food if you want to eat food. So, and I play a couple sports and art. So yeah. So I started drawing at a very young age. It was never a predominant part of my life growing up, and then all of a sudden in high school I hit some kind of phase where I was drawing a lot. I had a lot of notebooks with different doodles and stuff like that, and it became an outlet, not only emotionally, but I was, mentally I was going through a lot of stuff. So all of a sudden I decided I'm just gonna draw stuff on my shoes and I'm gonna wear them out in public, and people saw them and were like, that's kind of cool, you should really sell your shoes and make yourself some money. And I was like, high school kid, it's always nice to make a little extra money. So I decided to start a website, and that website was called Funky Beast at the beginning, which was the initial name of Tongue Tied. And I just made it more of a blog, so it was just more of a portfolio of some kind for people to just check out the stuff that I was making. And quickly I realized that people wanted to buy it more than just look at it, so I was like, okay, let's make it a thing. And so that's how I started. So as an immigrant, it's a lot harder to express yourself, whether or not you understand the language or not. That inability to say exactly what you want to say and get it through to someone. And for me, art was that way, that thing, that medium for me to be able to be like, this is what I mean, this is what I'm thinking about, this is what's going on in this brain. And so Tongue Tied fit so much better for me. It was a way to translate art into language. So I got my first paying customer while I was at Metro Community College. So one of the women that was in the class with me saw my shoes and was like, I want my kids to have one of these. So I made her a pair, and she got that for her daughter's birthday, if I remember right. I knew that I was passionate the moment that I started spending more time in the studio than I was spending time with people, like living people. And I joke a lot, but a lot of my pieces become my children. My parents really want me to have kids, but I tell them that every piece of artwork that I do is like a child, so they can just admire it. But I think that that's such an important thing. That passion I found in making art allows me to spend so much time doing it without realizing that time is going by. And it's that joy of just having people wear your stuff and seeing it in public and be like, oh, I totally made that, and getting that inner gratification. So I started making art more as a way to gain catharsis, and I quickly realized that it could be that and also be an outlet to express myself. So yes, I was gaining healing from it by doing art when I was younger, but as I grew and I matured and gaining other life experiences and living in a predominantly white surrounding, I quickly realized that I wanted to share art as a way of protest and as a way of bringing discussion to issues that really mattered to me, like gender inequality, racial inequality, as well as just looking at human beings as human beings and not just objects and not just props. And so art quickly became a way for me to kind of fight back, is the best way for me to explain that. And recently it's been more of a way to leave a legacy behind. I want to be able to say that I did something that mattered. I did something that didn't leave Omaha or anywhere that I'm living the same way that it was. And I think that art allows me to do that. And so that's where I'm at with art right now. Absolutely. Mentors are crucial. I can't begin to explain how important it is. I had a mentor initially when I started college at Hastings College, and she helped me more on the social and the mental stability aspect of things, and I quickly gained multiple mentors in the art field. Now, those mentors have helped me not only understand the importance of getting business cards, the importance of advertising, the importance of creating art that is clean, that is expressing myself the best way that I possibly can. And so those mentors have definitely been helpful. I don't necessarily have partnerships as far as locally yet, but that is something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Katie. My biggest inspiration, I think, is my former professor and current mentor, Jerome Dubas. He's a fantastic artist, and I just hope that one day I can grow up to be just like him. But he helped me in more than just the aspect of learning how to make art. He helped me understand the importance of art that means something. The most important thing that I learned from him was the importance of having a background to your art, beyond just the physical and just seeing a piece of artwork, but having something that makes people question whatever you're bringing to the table. And his art exemplifies that very well, talking about issues of gender inequality, talking about issues about politics, and his art does really well to bring those two things together. And so for me, that's someone that I'm looking up to. I'd been making art for the longest time, but I'd never gotten a professor who was willing to put the one-on-one time to help me cultivate that imagination, that energy to create art where I was, that would have me staying in the studio for hours on end. The top three struggles that I've had have been, for one, I'm a novice in the business world, so I'm still learning each and every day. So things pop up and I have to figure it out and solve it, and I've had to do quite a bit of research. So that's been the first one. My second one has been the fact that my store isn't a physical store, it's an online store. So people are used to walking through a store, looking at the items, feeling it, and saying, yes, this is what I want to buy. And so having it be an online store makes it just a little harder for them to kind of picture themselves with that item. So that, in addition to the fact that you don't get that face-to-face interaction, has been a bit difficult. The final one has been the content and the style of art that I create. My art tends to be kind of in your face for multiple different reasons. I, as a Black woman, like to make art that kind of represents me, and I think that's just a human characteristic. You want to have things that represent you, represent your experiences, and living in a little bit more of a conservative and Midwest town, it makes it a little harder for people to relate to when they want to purchase some items. So getting past that has been a bit of a struggle. I want my art to surpass any gender or racial issues, and for people to connect with that art despite that. So I'm a multimedia business, and I say that a lot, but the best way to explain that is the fact that you bring me an object, you bring me a medium, and I'm willing to work with it. Additionally, I also work with multiple mediums on my own. So I do ceramic, I do, plateware, I also do sculptures, and I also do 2D work with paint, crayons, and so forth. And I also make custom pieces so you can wear them. So I kind of just dabble in a little bit of everything and hope that someone likes whatever I bring to the table. I find that my art is very proactive or protest-like is the best way to explain that. So I don't think that I'm in a specific market per se, but I think that art in general does evolve to fit the needs of the people at that given time. I think making art should not be as expensive as it is, but it is very expensive, especially finding the tools that are necessary. So for me, especially because I'm still a small business, I'm trying to find the machines that suit me and are easy to move, especially with making pottery. I want to make sure that whatever I do purchase, I'm able to have for a long time and be able to use it for multiple different things. So deciding what I need to spend money on is always based on month to month. So this month I need clay. So is there any way for me to either ask another studio if they have clay, or is there a cheaper company that I can use to purchase my clay? So that's very important for me, as well as deciding whether or not I should use Hobby Lobby or Blix to buy my products. Blix can sometimes be more expensive and Hobby Lobby can be a little cheaper, or Walmart. So deciding between what is the most important for one month can change from one month to another. I had never heard of the word guerrilla tactics to describe advertising, but I love it. So I guess now I'm the guerrilla tactic advertiser. I like to spend a lot of times on the streets. So I'll wear t-shirts with my logo on it, or different drawings that I've put on shirts, and I'll just walk around, and it's a great way to start conversations. I also wear the shoes sometimes that I design, or I'll make t-shirts for friends who want to just wear it around or like wearing the t-shirts. And I have business cards, and I like to go around, put business cards at juice stops and at other art galleries or at friends' places of business, and that's been a great way for me. I have to say that social media is such a powerful tool. Being that my company is online already is already helpful, but being able to share that with, Snapchat, with Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram has been very helpful to gain some of that following. World domination. I say that so candidly, but I mean it. I want world domination. If my art could be everywhere around the world, that would be such a happy thing for me. So I would say that my relationship with the community is still pretty new. I like to attend a lot of the galleries and see what everybody else is doing. It's very inspirational for me. It gets me, my mind going, and I like to be downtown specifically and spending time with different people. And I'm a big people watcher, so anywhere that I go, I have my notepad with me, and so I draw certain attributes from certain people, and I kind of connect them together to make some of the pieces that I make currently. So I would say that everything in this town definitely influences and motivates me to do more. I definitely hope that one day I can give back as much as it's giving me. I do quite a bit of business in Omaha, but I also do quite a bit outside of Omaha. So the recent project that I just did, I sent a bunch of trophies to Texas. And so, again, that just kind of depends on what people see online and what they want to purchase. And so the best part about doing business here is the fact that a lot of the people that I do business with is family and friends and people that I know. And I feel like my pieces are getting happy homes, like I like to say. And that's so important to me. I want to make sure that whatever I make, the people obviously like it, but I also like the people, if that makes sense. So I think the best part about it is the fact that it's still growing. Omaha is still, evolving. People are still coming here and people are still wanting to shine, and that's so important to the growth aspect, and people are wanting to be different. That's very important to that growth aspect. So I think that Omaha is still so young as far as diversity, and that's definitely helping it in helping us artists specifically kind of move it towards that direction. I think that Omaha is still a bit of a novice as far as diversity and inclusion in a lot of different aspects. I think that there's too much separation of the town itself for no reason, personally. But I think that separation needs to be also touched on as far as seeing the cultures that are being built in so many different aspects of Omaha and bringing that all together. And I feel like if you put more pieces in the jambalaya, it always tastes tastes better. So I feel like I'm more of a big pot kind of person, so I want more people included. And I think that Omaha can definitely do a lot better with that. And I think that that's just part of that evolution of the town and of the people as well. We ain't all about corn and beef. And that's because I think that a lot of people who think of Midwest immediately go to, oh, you're farmers and that's all you do. But Omaha is kind of like the oasis, much like Lincoln is, but Omaha kind of brings a lot of different cultures together and is very much an urban area, which I think a lot of people don't associate with Nebraska. And so that's why I would say that. So I think a good reason why people should move to Omaha is because we cultivate a culture of growth. And I think that is very, very awesome about Omaha. I think that we also have so much talented people, artists, musicians, in so many different aspects. We're still growing, but that's also one of our benefits. I think that Omaha has a lot of live events. You've got I keep saying talented people because I feel like every person that I've met here in this town has something to bring to the table, and because they have something to bring to the table, we're all gaining from that.
Run it up.
Yeah.
Run it up.
New mid. Okay. Told the squad we gon' be okay.
Okay.
Okay.